I want to thank all the people who told me to my face or when I wasn't in the room that I couldn't do this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I am mentally done. Like it just and I need to switch over my headset, but also my thing just
Wait to start this pod off, ladies and gentlemen.
We are.
I am just.
It's been great. Have a good night.
This is Tangential Giants at the end of their ropes.
Signing off from.
What are you guys doing here?
I actually have like pod related questions to discuss, but after all the topics we have to discuss.
Yeah, we're just chock full of them. I think we'd mentioned earlier about Secret Invasion again. I don't know what your priority is in watching the show, Pat. But
says the guy who just got to across the Spider-Verse. Okay, so
that's
a lot of big talk coming.
But I feel like I've at least with that now included, I can talk about a ton of stuff.
I can talk about Barbie.
I can't. You got me there.
Really
but hey, doesn't mean I won't listen.
I'm already bringing the Kenergy, so I'm doing my part.
You are. But... You're enough.
Silent K.
Hey man, it's a great little sweater that they've got in the movie.
Yeah, and I saw it. Looks like it's fun. I mean, was there anything you wanted to say about it in general, just from reviewing? Because I don't think it's a spoiler alert for the two of us.
It's really well done, and it's really emotional. It's like really good. Like, oh wow,
really?
all the talk about it's really like it's the movie. It makes you think. Like, yeah, it does. They do a good job. So
is this is this Margot Robbie getting over her curse of being in blockbuster movies?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think the movie's already made $250-300 million.
Yeah, it's already it's crushing it.
Yeah. I just felt like this was like, and I don't know if I'm alone in this. Maybe Hollywood was thinking this too. Like, this is the last chance we're going to give her before we just say, you know what? You're like a B-list actress now.
She's an attractive white woman. She's getting all the chances in the world.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that her chances are going to be reduced. It doesn't mean that she's not far exceeding everyone else. And it's just her exceptions are coming down. Is all. Well, is what they
now she has to be in real movies. Is the problem? It's like she's gonna be.
She's done that though. Like she's done real acting roles. Like she's done other roles that have brought where her talent had to be enough. What about I, Tonya? I thought that was a pretty strong player.
You know what? That was pretty good.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think that she's got talent and she's got roles. It's just a matter of like it's the problematic. It's one of the problems of Hollywood is they only care about blockbusters. They only care about whales. Like they only want.
I don't. I mean, well, no, you're right. To a degree, they care about the dollars at the end of the day. If they can make a romantic comedy sell as much as an action movie or a blockbuster during the summer, they would do that as well. I don't argue that, but I do believe that there are categories and tiers that certain actors and actresses fall into, and I don't know if it's by the studio's decision. I would assume everything's money driven, so eventually it becomes the audience equals the studio making decisions based on that reality. So, but to my original thesis is that J-Lo's not expected to be in a super emotionally engaging movie because she's not considered, and I'm not saying that she can't do it
enough.
I want to thank all the people who told me to my face or when I wasn't in the room that I couldn't do this.
Fair
that's
enough,
my case.
But I mean, if you were to see her in a romantic comedy, you'd be like, that's the lane that she occupies. And I feel like Margot Robbie, I wouldn't say that she's going to do a romantic comedy because she hasn't really done it, but there are B actresses who don't get the chance to headline a movie alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and other things like that. They were going to start dropping her where you'd see her in movies and be like, oh yeah, she's good. I wish she'd get a different role. And you'd be like, and after you say that so many times, you're just going to accept the fact that she's in these types of roles.
Yes, and I think that also does pair with the idea that like you have that big H Hollywood is only going to give them those roles anymore. Like to Jennifer Lopez, she did that movie with Owen Wilson that was based on a comic book from a webcomic. Like I guess you should say it's based on a webtoon.
You were mentioning that.
Marry Me. Yeah.
It's called Wow.
But then she did Shotgun Wedding, which so Marry Me was direct to Peacock maybe or Paramount Plus.
Right? I think it was. I thought that was in theaters for a quick minute, wasn't it?
Was it?
So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't do very well.
I don't think Shotgun Wedding went to theaters. I thought that was an Amazon specific, but
I think you're right.
I don't know. But
that's
then she's
Jason Duhamel. What is that?
Yeah, Josh Duhamel.
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah. And then there's these are all producers. So is she
like the guy from Transformers?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Fergie's husband, isn't that he's that one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He is Fergalicious.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, real.
Fergalicious.
But again, she's. I mean,
what you got.
I think the point was that if you saw her in a romantic comedy, it's like, oh yeah, that's J-Lo. That's where she's at. Versus like we don't expect her to show up in a Marvel movie or be in like like an Oppenheimer type situation where she's like having to do a period piece or something of that nature to lean on her. I mean, and so that's but all that to say, I think what was the last movie she was in with Leonardo DiCaprio and it was,
you're going pretty far back actually. The Wolf of Wall Street one?
No, I take that back. Not Leonardo. She was with Christian Bale and Denzel Washington's son.
Oh,
they were in like this period piece where they were like criminals or whatever.
Oh yeah, the one with the director who's a fucking asshole, and for some people for reason everyone's like, oh, I can still work with him, it's fine. I'm like, I don't know,
but this had been like that movie didn't do very well, and
I'm trying to look up
the dramatic push was there, so it was like the tension was up. It was like, oh god, what did Pat find?
It didn't do well, and I think that
Amsterdam.
There was a sentiment that Amsterdam. There was a sentiment growing that like maybe she's not what we've been trying to push for a quick minute. And
I don't know.
I think this movie,
and I think that's part of the problem is that it's like, oh, maybe it's not what we're trying to push. Like what they're like, I don't think that movies fail on her. Was it Babylon? Okay. I don't think
she was in Amsterdam. Sorry, go ahead. My apologies.
Okay. I don't think the movies fail on because of her. I think that they're just they don't have the right mix. So it's like it's not her fault that movie didn't do well. It's not, and so it's like I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just saying like I'm countering what there is that mindset in Hollywood. Like, oh, well, her other movie didn't do too well. It's like it's not her fault. Like there's any number of things that come together, and but although she signed up for it to catch a paycheck, so also wears I don't know. As long as she's pro union, I'm fine with it. Like she spoke on she's not like Stephen Amell who's like I don't know. About
I was waiting to get to that.
I don't know about this.
So real
you
quick,
have failed this union.
Joe Pat.
So real quick, Margot Robbie. I think we're confusing two movies. Amsterdam didn't do great, but the last one that it was like supposed to be a big blockbuster that biffed it was Babylon, and that's the one with Brad Pitt.
Yes. Okay.
It was like Hollywood's. No, I just want to stop any confusion.
The Quentin Tarantino one, right? That did okay, I guess. It
did actually no. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think did pretty well
for a Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah.
No, but that's also that is a movie.
Babylon.
Capital M.
I wasn't even aware of Babylon.
And I don't know what her acting is like in that. I just felt like again, if this movie hadn't done well, I wouldn't be surprised if we stopped seeing her headlining movies and started to drift into this.
I guess okay. I see what you're saying is she could stop headlining, but she would still be. I think she has the power as an actress, and she ticks all the boxes that attractive blonde woman that she's gonna stay.
Yeah, but that's a dime a dozen in Hollywood.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at let's look at her So her
What, a few
IMDb,
days?
shall we, guy? Let's look at Let's see what we got here. So obviously her big break was Wolf of Wall Street. So that's the big break. I'm trying to get down to Wolf of Wall Street. Where are you on here?
What you need to be looking for is Collateral.
That's 2013.
Was she in Collateral?
She was also in About.
That was her
Time.
big like, oh, Will Smith's gonna revive my career because I did his shitty Suicide Squad mission movie.
Okay, so she's
Collateral's
in...
not on her list, by the way.
No, she wasn't in Collateral. Collateral's way before that.
And Collateral's okay. Also,
I take that back.
I think about let's clarify the name though.
It's one word. Yeah, it's not Collateral. It's shit.
Terminal.
No.
Dreamland.
No.
Dollface. Bombshell.
No.
Neighbors. Amsterdam.
Nope.
Babylon.
No.
Those are all the one words.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
this is on you, Kareem.
Focus. That's what it's called.
Focus.
Yeah.
That's before. Oh, okay. Okay, it's a year before.
But
So-
that's also before Suicide Squad.
Yeah, but this is release year, so maybe there was some
And
because Harley Quinn, or sorry, Suicide Squad did get delayed for a while, so maybe they did them. She's like, hey, we'll work on this together and then go do that together. So maybe there's some overlap in production, but
then she was
Still,
also in The
we
Big
lost us.
Short.
I don't know if the big. What are we talking about now?
Yeah, but
That
the
was
Big
an
Short-
Oscar winner.
But
Or
did he
I
do
don't
all
know
the
actually won
theaters,
any
though?
Oscars.
She's
I actually
uncredited
think,
for
I think
that.
he did. She's listed. It's
Yeah.
on her IMDb.
Yeah,
Australian Psycho. What? Oh,
It's a
some
it's a
of these
short.
are
yeah. Some
okay.
of these are shorts.
So then we go Suicide Squad. Then we go I, Tonya, which I believe she was nominated for an Academy Award for.
Yeah.
And then it's like an Australia tourism video. God damn it, IMDb.
Yeah.
You know, Kareem, I was trying to argue against it, but nah. I don't know,
Slaughterhouse
big hits on
Rules
here.
was another one that was like, it was poised to be like, oh, this is gonna be a big one, and it wasn't.
I mean, it does have a Z at the end.
That's true.
Once Upon a
Um,
Time in Hollywood would be her next big hit.
But I mean, again, that's not her movie though. She's just in it.
I mean, she plays Sharon Tate. It's an important role.
It's an important role, but when do you get to like her culminating scene? I mean, the
if you look
movie
at the-
isn't.
Their
But-
culminating scene would be her in the theater showing her feet. It's probably
Okay.
her culminating scene.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not. I'm glad she's in it.
Well, it's Quentin
Right.
Tarantino's favorite scene
Ooh, okay.
because he likes to have sex with feet, guys. That's the
Aha! Aha! What do you know from funny, you bastard?
I'm aware. I
You're
try
right,
not to think
that's-
about it. I try to keep it out of my mind, actually. But thank you for pushing it back to the
You're
forefront.
welcome.
Just start saying toes, feet, toenails.
Yeah, I wanted to talk shit, Kareem, but yeah, it's a real mix because she's in Asteroid City too. But she plays
just
white,
came out,
so
though,
I assume
right?
that's a small role. Yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
Wes Anderson movie, so everybody just
Yeah.
kind of looks sad and awkward.
But it's very bright and colorful.
She's also in
Always her.
both Suicide Squad movies and her own The Immaculate Emancipation of Harley Quinn as by the Birds of Prey, the Blobbity Bloobity, whatever the title was.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't
I-
awful.
Well, that.
My problem's not
It's
with the
okay.
movie, not with the movie. My problem it was probably with the title that it's like, we're gonna do and also that the conceit was we're gonna do a Birds of Prey movie. Oh, that's cool. I love the Birds of Prey. Actually, it's just a Harley Quinn movie. Okay, I mean that's where I was kind of like I like Barbara Gordon. I like Black Canary. I like the Birds of Prey, and it's more. I guess it's more of a comic book issue with like anti-heroes and just give me the movie that I want. I want the Birds of Prey. You
But
gave me
wasn't Huntress a bird of prey though?
yeah. Huntress is a Bird of Prey. So is Black Canary, and so there's a couple different Birds of Prey, but it wasn't. It was her movie. It was just the Harley Quinn movie with some extra people in there. And Cassandra Cain is just this girl who's kind of lost and kidnapped-ish thing.
Yeah, but the problem is
Like-
you hadn't established any other character outside of Batman in any of the Batman movies. So you're already gonna have a tough hill to climb going that. If they decide to do a sequel to Birds of Prey where Harley's moved on and it's just them,
They're
that
not
would
gonna
have
do
been
that.
your introduction. Yeah.
No,
They're
you
not-
could
they're not
if
gonna do that.
no, just go and stick the landing and just do.
But how would you stick the landing if you don't know how to flip, Ken?
If that's the thing is they don't know how to flip because they didn't hire people to coach them to write the damn story. There's like
Well, you can't tell them
let's
to stick the landing then, though.
Yes, I can. Because they were the ones who could have hired coaches, but they chose not to
But they still know how to flip at the end of the day.
because they
So I'm
didn't
saying, hey,
put in the time and effort.
I'm saying instead of telling them to go out and stick the landing, it's like, hey, how about we start with a handstand? Let's get to the handstand, then we'll start working our way to the flip.
Again, you can start something and work towards it. They didn't want to work towards it. That's where the problem is.
How would
like,
you have started that, Ken?
Whoa!
How would you
Time
start
out.
it, Ken?
Time out. Are you telling me DC rushed the project? 'Cause that doesn't sound like them at all.
I know. You know, what was I thinking? Clearly,
I would hear how
Kareem,
Ken's going to
they didn't want to do. Yeah, it's
based on what we had known at the time about Batman's, rogues gallery of characters. How would you have started that, and that would have brought in people? How would you have started a Birds of Prey movie?
I open on Gotham. You see a light.
Give me a trailer.
No,
give me a trailer.
No, I could do a pitch. This would be another episode, but you can do
it's
it.
The same episode. Just let me hear.
No, I'm not fucking sitting down here trying to. This is not a good faith argument, okay? If you want an honest
you
to God
brought
trailer,
it up.
You fucking brought all this shit up saying Margot Robbie's not good enough to carry a fucking movie. You brought all this up.
You talking
Is that not what we're doing?
That's exactly what we're doing.
I like
Sam
yelling
Jackson.
too.
Loud noises.
So my point is, they could have gone in and said, let's try and make an honest to goodness Birds of Prey movie. They didn't want to.
I understand that, but I'm asking based on what was known at the time. How would you have done it? Because I want to see what could have been by what you're thinking that they could have done versus like what you're about to say they can do, and then maybe the realities are different.
Because I'm not. This is not a good faith argument because I'm not given the time that they were given to develop an idea. They had fucking decades to do this. They chose not to. They chose to just fucking let's just put Harley Quinn in it, and then maybe we'll name some other characters.
Because Harley Quinn is what people know.
I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that apparently you work for fucking Hollywood and you're on their payroll. You're like, no, I'll shoot down all these fucking podcasts.
I'm not at all. But I want to hear people who have these opinions flush them out because it's easy to say, oh, you know what?
Then and that's why I'm saying, give me an episode.
Great Spider-Man
give
movie.
Me time to be like, oh, okay, I will
Great
give
idea.
you my pitch for a Birds of Prey movie, and this will be what it is. But I'm not on the spot going to be like, oh, well, you've got better ideas. Do it.
So how about this then?
I didn't say you had better ideas. I said, how would you have done it?
I would have sat down and developed it over a year with writers from the comics.
Okay, hold on.
That's how we would have done it.
We're going to have Kareem shits on your dreams episode.
Me, all I ever heard was fuck your dreams. All I ever heard was fuck your dreams.
There you go.
Dream Crusher Kareem is back in full effect. We are gonna have.
This is executive producer Kareem. That's not going to make us enough money.
Yeah.
Get the fuck down, you asshole. I'm tired of this shit, you little fuck. You know shit.
Where the T&A? How are we ever going to get anybody in the seats? We'll use Birds of Prey to start, Ken.
Oh, that's getting dramatic.
Just, I want to focus here. Bring camera in. Focus on me. Ken, back up. I feel this feels like Back to the Future 3 now.
That's awesome.
Ken, come up with a general plot for a Birds of Prey movie that introduces the characters with the understanding that it has to be a movie that you can sell. Fair? Kareem, just be your wonderful self and shit all over it.
Don't mind if I do.
Now,
right,
the payback to this is we will pick a movie, Kareem, and you're gonna have to come up with a plot, and we are gonna eviscerate it. So
Okay.
heads up.
Yeah, that seems fair.
That is the revenge.
Okay.
The Revengers.
Works for me.
Thanks, Venture Brothers.
So,
All right.
as you were saying about Margot Robbie in Barbie,
She does a great job. It's a very entertaining film. It's really good. She's a big superstar. She was already a star. This is gonna be, I assume we're gonna get Barbie part 2 through 7, though I don't really know where you'd even go with it.
Actually, I've heard that Greta Gerwig has said like she's done. Like that's kind of it. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
gonna stop
necessarily.
him.
I mean, she said that's that. So I don't
Yeah.
see a sequel coming out to the same caliber. And so
Oh God, no.
yeah, so that's not. Yeah, I would look. I do look forward to seeing it at some point. It's of course it's interesting because I know that it's not just like, hey, it's much like, I mean, similar to the Lego movie where it's like, the fuck is this gonna be? And then like, oh, okay, you pulled this out. Well, way to go, team. They did the similar thing where they're like they switch it up and caught you off guard.
I don't think it's spoiled. Will Ferrell is once again involved.
He's actually in some of the trailers where it's like, and to the point that I want to, like, if I was more savvy on social media, I would do reels of just like, we really don't care to worry about Ken too much, like, because I am Ken, and it works, and I'm branding, like, yes, yeah, we really don't worry too much about Ken, which is fair.
Moving forward, you will be and Ken,
as long as I'm not Alan. Fuck Alan.
What the f, man?
You leave Alan alone. Alan has a rough go.
Mm.
You just hate Michael Cera so much.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I don't know. Michael Cera probably thinks he's okay.
Jonah Hill, although he kind of, maybe he ditched him too. I don't know.
I feel like Jonah Hill ditched anybody he knew.
Yeah, that's fair too. Like, so he's just like, I'm gonna go wherever.
I thought it was the guy who played McLovin that he actually hated.
Oh, really?
I mean, Michael Cera, like, hey, could you, help me move something? Like, it's just you're not supporting me anymore, man. This just feels like a one-way relationship. I'm gonna go. So Jonah Hill gets out of everything.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go to a movie this weekend? Hey, man, I can't even believe you're asking me that. Can't believe you're asking me that. That's a boundary for me. It's a boundary.
Yeah, apparently there's some of those ad-lib lines where he's railing against McLovin were actually real because he really hated the guy. Well, because I guess he had McLovin hadn't really acted or done anything before this movie. And
I mean, one could argue Michael Cera had never acted previously.
Well, he did the TV show.
I mean, do you call that acting?
Son of a bitch.
He at least
George
knew
Michael Bluth is a national treasure.
He's just fucking Michael Cera. It's like when Harrison Ford plays Harrison Ford. He's just Harrison Ford. I love Indiana Jones, but I understand that that's just Harrison Ford. I'm going to bumble around the screen and do some stuff. Fine, Harrison, I love you.
What about This Is the End?
Didn't see.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, he's not acting like Michael Cera normally acts. It was called This Is the End, right?
Hey, does this Coke smell funny? Oh, fuck, Michael. Fuck, no, that's fucking expensive shit, motherfucker. Fuck, dude. I've never fucking done cocaine, dude. What is the fucking... Well, you did the best shit possible for your first time, because that's good. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
At World's End is the third of the Simon Pegg trilogy.
The Cornetto trilogy.
Yes, thank you.
Cornetto trilogy.
I always say it wrong, so I was hoping someone would jump in with it. All right.
There you go.
Let's make it sure. But yeah, go find the Michael Cera clips on that. Then you'll see how Michael Cera really acts.
I mean, I could watch it at some point. There's time, I suppose, and I'm sure it's on at least 2 streaming networks at this point. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. Who knows?
Might be a Paramount Plus with those guys, but nobody's gonna know because they don't fucking advertise anything they got on there.
You guys want to shit all over Ryan Gosling while we're at it too? Anyone else you want to attack while we're here?
No, I don't think we're even attacking. We didn't even attack Margot Robbie. We're attacking. I was attacking Hollywood and the executives. No, I was the one who defended her and said I, Tanya, was good, and I wasn't someone else who's like, she's never done a good thing in her life.
Yeah,
I'm tired of suckers.
That's her. I apologize, Ken. Kareem, was there anyone else in the movie you want, or any movie out right now you want to crap on?
I mean, throw me a movie, I will. But my point wasn't that I was crapping on her. I said I felt like the industry was ready to crap on her. I think, again, I've enjoyed a lot of stuff she's been in. A lot of her career, I'm like, hey, you know what? That's a good movie. But I felt if this movie had have sank, they would have entirely blamed it on her, and that would have been.
They would have blamed Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
they always blame, they would have blamed both the women. It wouldn't have been on Simu Liu. It wouldn't have been on Alan.
It wouldn't have been on fucking executives who had all their notes and shit.
But Greta Gerwig as a back end person, she takes the fall.
No, you're right. But I also feel like that still taints Margot Robbie though, because now you've given
Yeah.
her Babylon and this back to back, and
Well,
she's
then she
produced
has-
nothing for you each summer.
And then she has to take a Marvel movie at this point. Her big problem is
Does
she
she, though?
hooked up with DC. That was her big problem. She got in bed with DC. It's a mistake.
I
You
mean,
do that,
but-
you get what you get.
No, I think, but
I
I
mean,
also think
DC
she
or Warner
solidified
Brothers.
Harley Quinn though.
Tomato.
I feel like she wouldn't have done that in Marvel, especially as of late. Depends on what she gets in there.
Yeah, well, Marvel's, yeah.
But I mean, I think she's more synonymous with as Harley Quinn than she. Again, like I said, she would have been. And I couldn't even think of a character she'd be playing.
Yeah,
So
no,
far,
she's
I mean,
synonymous with Harley Quinn, and so far she's had 1.5 good films out of it, out of the 3.
I don't disagree, but at least I mean her impersonation of Harley Quinn will be mimicked, mocked, and replicated going forward, and I think that's still something.
In Halloween costumes for 20-somethings for years and years to come.
Yeah,
Interesting. Reportedly from Fandom Wire, which take that with a grain of salt, Margot Robbie turned down Sue Storm, which I can't blame her. It's not much of a role. There's not a lot of meat to that role, so there's that.
but in what though?
In
What do you mean?
Fantastic Four.
In Fantastic
new one.
Four, Marvel.
In the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It had this been maybe Marvel of like 4 or 5 years ago, that could have been something she'd be like, oh, that's gonna do well for me.
And Margot
Even-
Robbie
even
would be
then, though,
Thanos.
We're bringing him back.
I mean,
Can't ask for another multiverse.
even
This'll shut
then
'em
with
up.
the like this the I mean, I meant more. My problem is that I don't think Sue Storm, depending on who's doing the treatment, I don't think Sue Storm has too much of a role to play. Like she's not. They in many iterations she hasn't been a leading character. She is and Sue Storm, like
But
she's a
presumably she'd be in her own movie, so she'd have some more agency, ideally, right?
it's
No,
not the Sue Storm
gonna
movie.
be
It's the Fantastic Four
It's gonna be a Reed
movie.
Richard movie.
Yeah, it's
But
Reed.
I'm saying it's in that versus the wider world of just like the Avengers or like a multi-cast set of characters. Like it's just the 4 of them. Even if she's in the sequel, it's still roughly the 4 of them.
Yeah,
Is it?
I mean, she ideally would have more time
You
than
just,
being like
we're gonna forget about Herbie. We don't care.
no,
no.
Herbie the robot.
nope,
No.
nope. Are you done?
Do
You're just
Will-
saying
his character.
words now.
he's a character?
Willie Lumpkin. He delivers mail.
Yeah.
Willie Lumpkin.
Mole Man. I'm
You need
saying.
anything else? You just say it.
I'll be right
I
back.
don't know, you may come up with other characters that are Fantastic Four characters.
No, I think we get your point.
I don't know if you do.
But again, I don't think Margot Robbie loses out on not playing Sue. And I don't. And to the wider point, it'd be interesting to see how she makes that her character versus the more iconic Harley Quinn.
Marvel doesn't do that. It is the thing about DC. It feels like a lot falls in the gutter, but sometimes it can shoot off into space. Like I'm thinking everybody that's played the Joker outside of Jared Leto. That's made it kind of an iconic role.
No,
'Cause they
I mean,
didn't
yeah,
pretend to
you're
have
right.
face tattoos and method act
But
their ass through it.
To that point, though, and again, I think it's just maybe the broader cast of all these Marvel characters. Iron Man is now synonymous with or Tony Stark's for Tony, more synonymous with Robert Downey Jr. And I don't think any other version of Thanos we get going forward, I don't think anybody's gonna be able to pull the Brolin out of that. So there are some characters where you're like, that is that character.
But
And I don't think Sue as a character in general. I think whoever played, like you said, to your guys' point, whoever plays Reed's gonna be like, oh, that's the Reed that we go going forward. Not
Yeah.
that's the
Well,
Sue.
it was Kenton's point that there's just not a lot. It's going to depend on the story they pick. Marvel right now, I guess Ken's done with us. Marvel right now just seems to be in such a weird spot. It seems like they had a plan in place. The plan has kind of broken, and they're having to pivot. I don't know if they know where they're pivoting to.
Well, that was to my that was to my larger point that I was going to make about Secret Invasion.
Mhm.
Is that
They're kind of lost in the
They-
weeds.
They're so lost, and it's now they're just putting stuff out because they can get actors, and people can be like, "Oh, that's that actor," and that's the extent you get to like a character. Like you don't really get like, "Oh, what is this character about?" You're just like, "Who's this actor playing this character that other people know about?"
I think we have to come to the realization that what Marvel did was kind of lightning in the bottle, perfect time, perfect place. They hadn't seen that before. They kind of, in some ways, lucked into tumbled into it, and then were able to plan out based on how they kind of fell into it, and then they didn't have any major pitfalls. Nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
And you didn't. What was the worst performing movie of the first 20 Marvel films? It's like
Thor to the Dark
Ant-Man.
World.
Yeah, Thor 2.
No, not the worst movie, the worst performing movie.
I thought Thor the
Oh,
Dark World
worst
did pretty.
performing movie?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good.
Oh, I mean,
question.
it's Incredible Hulk, probably.
It's obviously
Oh,
Ant-Man,
that's right. That does count as the
Yeah.
the start of it.
worst
It's-
performing. Yeah, that's probably it's Incredible Hulk because of this. Just
Yeah.
the stats.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, if that's your worst level film, okay, but then everything else does gangbusters, and it's just building and building to this thing, and now there's the inevitable letdown. Where do you go from there? You can't rebuild. You can't do that thing again,
Yeah,
especially because
and-
everybody else is trying to do it now. So
Well,
it's
and-
not new. It's not unique.
right. And I think to your point about them getting lucky during that 10-year run, I felt like they also got sort of gaslit by the pandemic because people were they had a captive audience, so to speak, for those first handful of series that came out.
Yeah.
And the idea that we would get big name actors that were in these movies, these franchises, to be on television was kind of an appeal for viewers. Like, hey, you didn't just recast Wanda for television so you can get, you pay that actor a different salary or whatever. You got that actor, and people were like, "Oh, that's cool." And we're seeing more of that crossover, and that was kind of new for people too. That let's go from the big screen to this, and I feel like that's not working anymore for them.
No,
At
because
least not
everybody's
for-
doing it. Like all of the streaming services are hiring big name actors to be on their television shows because that's the new prestige TV. Like that's, I mean, it's not new. We've known this for 15, 20 years now, but all of those mid-level adult thrillers are TV shows now.
Yeah, but I think But I think to
Sorry.
a certain degree, it's a little bit different. It'd be different. It'd be the same as like if they had a 10-episode series with like the Indiana Jones TV show, and they got Harrison Ford to play Indiana Jones through every one of those episodes. That'd be more akin to than just saying like, oh, we're going to get this big name actor to play in our new movie, our new exclusive movie to this thing. So it's a new, he's not playing someone you've seen iconicized on the big screen as like, oh, this is Christian Bale playing Jason Bateman in a series. What's his name?
Christian Bale is Jason
Jason
Bateman.
No,
in Arrested Development.
no.
Making it.
What was the serial killer's name? Patrick.
Oh, Patrick Bateman.
He
Nobody
was,
want-
he's not- but I'm saying, but if don't
Yeah.
hey, Netflix made Dahmer. Don't act like they'd be above them to make
Yeah, but that's
American
true
Psycho.
crime. Don't put it in the air. We don't want that. I do not
I agree,
need
and I don't think
a bunch
Christian
of
Bale's going to do it, but the idea was I think that'd be more akin, like, hey, this is the series, and that's the actor who you would think wouldn't be in that series.
fair
So
enough.
you think that the driving force behind the success of the Marvel TV shows initially was just that you had big name stars, or that they initially had maybe more? I think that the initial shows had more time to develop and got. I do know that there was definitely some changes up because I think we discussed that when they were coming out, was that there was definitely some changes because of COVID, but I think that they had more time to kind of work out the kinks and get them on the screen a bit better than they're it feels like they're rushing some of the stuff currently. At least maybe that's my take. I don't know if this the main draw was like, oh, we can watch Elizabeth Olsen, for 6 times in a month. That's the draw to me. I just for me it was just like more Marvel, so that I am not the test audience for that. I'm not the
I think it's part of it. I agree somewhat with you, Kareem. I think it is part of it that having those like big Hollywood stars, because it makes it feel like an event. But it's also because that's what came out after Endgame. It was like the second or third biggest movie of all time, the culmination of 20 films of content, and it was new because they were tying TV into it. And so everyone was interested, and the first couple were good. I mean, WandaVision was interesting. It ended kind of flat. Falcon and Winter Soldier was Lethal Weapon. It was a buddy cop movie. So if you liked it, you did. Some didn't. Loki was great. And then it's kind of been diminishing returns. And as we've gotten more into it, as the movies came back, because the movies have not been as engaging, it has hurt the TV show impact because the movies have to be the driving force, the way it's currently constructed.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm very smart and make very many good points. I know.
I'm. You're not wrong. It's like, all right, fair enough.
100% wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, and to the point too, like we're always gonna be chasing that high for, Civil or Infinity War. I think that even if things went to plan with their like some of the things they have in place, which we already know that they're still adjusting, adapting as they go, that as much as I think Secret Wars, that's gonna be their next end cap piece, which at that point it's probably time for a full reboot, but I don't know if they'll ever hit those same points. Like it's going to be good, but also I don't know.
We've seen it before now, and look. You know what beat Secret Wars to it? The Flash. Like hey, what do we do? Oh, you're going to have them all together and fight? We'll just do that in a movie. We'll just throw everybody in there. Okay.
Except, yeah, there's a lot to do. I haven't even seen it, but I already know enough of how it ends that I'm kind of like,
Oh, but like, the novelty of the idea is gone. Like, it's trash. I saw the scene where like the universe is colliding, the worst CG. Like, this is 2023. Pay a grad student. I do not care.
No.
Speed. Pay the actual people. Pay the right people their fucking money. First of all, because I'm pro union. Okay, folks.
Yes, exactly.
I'm pro union.
Another shot at Steven.
Yeah, another shot at Steven. Like,
did you hear about that, Pat? This guy's a dick. We'll get back to what we were talking about, but
he came out and
Green Arrow's about to get his ass whooped.
he decided that what union? That's not, nobody needs that.
Yeah,
he's being a baby because he wants to promote his season 2 of his show. Because of the strike, the rules say he can't. Now he's like, well, I don't know if this is productive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And also it's also coming from a position of like, well, I've made it, so it's like, yeah. What about everyone who worked on like is not getting what they're due? And like that's it drives me crazy for a man. Just the I got mine mentality. Like,
some people, that's how they live their life.
Yeah,
and it's also just, I mean, it's obviously a spit in the face to like all of his fellow actors and writers and things like that, but it just makes him also seem like he's kind of devoid of the facts. He's like, oh, they should be at the negotiating table. I'm like, what do you think the strike is for?
Yeah, they are at the table.
They went to the table.
Yeah.
And the executives said, fuck off. And they were like, all right, well, then we're out of here. Are you going to go back to the table and say, can I have another?
Yeah. Hit me again. I can this time put some steak on it. I don't know why that clip is in my head 24/7.
This is the second time we have to talk about it. Someone getting their ass kicked by Ike.
You're like Ike Turner, man.
I don't know what it's some podcast or something had that again in they talk about it. And it's just it's fresh in my brain.
Our kid's malfunction. We take his ass back.
I know.
Return policy on these kids.
Maybe he's not Knuff.
I'm good Knuff.
Got good Kenergy right now.
But yeah, that it was over the weekend, wasn't it? Was that when this came out, or was it?
I guess
Recently.
I just saw it today.
It's funny watching some of the people just show their ass entirely in this. I'm like, yeah, okay, man.
And it's like, it's so easy to just not like, just
shut up. Just shut up.
Just shut up. Don't
shut up.
Like, and especially when you have other creators and other actors. I'm not sure if they're creator, but they're content creators. But then there's anyways, other people who wanted to promote things so bad that was not struck work. So they went to Comic-Con and they made it a strict adherence. Like, you know what? I can't talk about that. but I'm here to promote this video game. I can't talk about the movie that's also based on the video game, but I can talk about the video game because the video game has not struck work. And it's like, no, they're doing their part. They're like, you know what? I want this to succeed. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be here for this because I care about this. I can care about that too, but right now this is a matter of I mean, it seems weird to say honor, but it's a matter of principle to be like, no, like I acknowledge that this needs to be done. So it's like, it's why you join the union, dude. So if you want to be a scab, go be a scab and just take the blame when things come back and you don't get jobs anymore. But you're doing Canadian work anyway, so who knows? I don't know how that works.
And also with Stephen Amell, I mean, let's be honest, he may be upset because he should be able to be one that's pro-union because he's not getting anything after residuals from Arrow. Like that guy's not on an upward trajectory. It's like, you had your hit.
Yeah, and
hope you get on a sitcom, man. Good luck.
Yeah, and to that point too, it's like you hurt yourself on that show, and you like other people left their shows, and you were like, yeah, he's just such a company man in that way. Like, Ruby Rose left Batgirl over issues of safety. Other actors have voiced their concerns about that. He never spoke up. He never said no. Like, they have points and these should be addressed. He's just a company man. Like that's the type of. You just wait for his cigar to be like, yeah, you know what? Nah, so I'm done with that.
Don't worry, because Zaslav's going to take care of that before he gets.
Oh yeah, no, Zaslav's going to be.
Can we sell off Green Arrow and that actor?
Yeah,
that's human trafficking, sir. Get it done.
Whatever.
Get it done.
I hear the who bought the PGA Tour. I can't remember.
God!
Oh,
the Saudis. I'm just saying
the Saudis are looking to get into
bad,
movies.
but I think it's accurate though too.
But yeah,
so.
They're looking to get into movies. The fund is free. Sell up all of Warner Bros. Discovery.
What a yahoo!
Yeah.
Seems so counterintuitive for this late in the game. If this is an early take, maybe that'd be different if, like, as soon as they finish negotiating, like they've been striking for a while, buddy. You haven't been allowed to promote for a while.
The studio executive said we're gonna wait for him to starve and lose their houses. Like,
yeah,
maybe you're on the wrong side, man. Maybe that's not where to be.
I like too how he's like, he like 7 hours ago. There's an update. He attempts to clarify SAG strike comments in new statement. Don't fucking backtrack now. At this point, own that you're an ass and just let that be the story and fade away into the obscurity that is your millions of dollars that you have. So peace out. Like this is I don't understand. Like this need to be like, oh no, I've got millions of dollars in the bank. I still need to I still need to go out there and just keep taking jobs from other people.
You are who you are. He's an asshole, apparently.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd like to go into why Stephen Amell is my favorite actor. Just real quick. It's unrelated to this.
Has nothing to do with Green Arrow, right?
No, I just like his stances on political issues.
Fair enough.
Really, what?
I'm pro union.
What is his other
just
show?
don't do anything.
It's about wrestling.
Yeah,
but
it's when he wrestled for a quick minute too, and like one of the
it's on Stars,
the leagues, or whatever, preparing for this.
And that's the thing too, is that there are shows like Warrior that I really love, and I believe Kareem also enjoys. That the actors on that are on their social media. They're like, you know what, I can't talk about it because it's a struck show now because it's part of Warner, but other people have taken up the banner and said, no, we want to promote the show. Like people like podcasters and content creators, because they can understand and appreciate that this is being a predominantly Asian American cast. They're always just under the knife constantly in terms of that show not coming back. And so people are still trying to promote it as best they can because the stars who want to can't, and they respect that. Like, no, this is going to stick with the union for a show that's likely to get cut anyways. And it's like, no, like they still see that there's a greater good in this case. Not, I want my wrestling show to be good. I want more people to watch my wrestling show. Like, dude,
I mean, it's called Heels, so he's kind of living the gimmick.
Yeah.
There you go. He's got into that method acting.
I mean, let's be honest. Warrior was going to get cut either way because it's part of HBO and Cinemax. Yeah. So that was going to...
Yeah. Well, I mean, to Kid's point, it was like...
That got snapped.
First, it was on the chopping block because he was predominantly Asian. Now he's picked up a whiff of, I smell some a live show in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's kill it. Kid Rum and the Craven.
You know what's more profitable than making content? Tax write-offs.
Making content and then not releasing it.
Perfect.
Somehow that's a plus and a benefit to.
You're saying we don't lose money? Oh, I'm going to show you losing money. Don't you worry. Oh, you think it's all cook in the books? No, man. We made this, didn't even release it. $100 million right down the tubes.
Set her on fire.
Yeah, that's how we roll. It feels like.
But
cutting
make
up
sure
nose to spite your
you get
face.
the cast in there to watch it burn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
then,
your
and while they're
hardware.
crying, scoop it up because I want to have a drink afterwards.
And then
Yeah.
after the viewing, announce to them that you went around and bought all their houses through the HOA, and now you're evicting them because that's the type of monster you are.
And then
Pretty
make sure
much.
you record it, and that's our new reality show.
Tell you
Print
anything
money.
like me.
Yeah, no, I didn't have to pay a single
Let's
rent.
fuck your dreams. All I ever heard was fuck your dreams.